Hi, my name's Barbara Gray from Claritystamp here in the UK, and welcome to YouTube Tuesday. Today I thought we would have a look at a new type of stencil that we've started developing. They're like frameless. If we take a look at this stencil here, it's an illustration of mine from quite a while ago, and you'll see that it hasn't got an outer. It's kind of floppy, if you like. Let's have a look inside. So there's something that I want to show you. Several of these frameless stencils of ours, if you have a look now, you'll see they've got these little tangs on them here. Well, I was talking to my mate Leonie, and she said that one of the things is it makes your hands really messy if you're working with gel press, for example, and then you've got to get your fingers inside. And I want to show you that these little tangs, they bend up. So now I've got these little tiny, if I wanted to put that onto a paint, for example, onto a painty gel plate, then I can use these little tangs as lifters. It's very clever. If I don't want to use them, if I'm not interested, I can bend them back. The design's so busy you'd barely see them. But the other thing is, of course, that they're very easy to just snip off as well. So I've given you the choice, if you like, whether or not you want to use these little tangs. If you don't fancy using them, then just cut them off with a pair of scissors and you'll never know they were there. There you go. So what I wanted to do today was show you how to get a really cool, let me show you here. I want to show you how you can get a really cool emboss on the front. See, one of the advantages, why do we want a frameless stencil? Well, one of the greatest advantages of a frameless stencil is that you can put it where you like. It hasn't got a frame. I could put it here, I could put it here, I could use it bang in the center, of course I can, but the thing is that I can use parts of it too. So this is really great. And what I want to kind of go through with you today is how we get this emboss with a stencil. So let's have a look. First of all, if I take, let's take one of our 5x5 card blanks. There you go. Got there in the end. And I'll show you how I want to get that emboss. You kind of got to talk it through. Let's see if I need to do this for myself just as much as for you. Let me take this one out of the way and then we'll have a look at the plates. I'm going to use a Gemini. We need to push this stencil through a mangle or a die cutting machine of some description. The rubber mat, this little rubber shim is the secret. So we're going to use our plastic. This is my sequence now, but the theory is the same for any die cutting machine. Now I'm going to put the rubber mat down, not the magnet, the rubber, right? And the idea is that this is going to push through. If I put the stencil here, let's say, look on the inside of this and you'll understand it. If I put the stencil on the inside, then what will happen is the rubber mat will push through the areas around the stencil, leaving on this side, leaving the image embossed. So it's the rubber shim, then the card, and then the stencil, and then we'll hold it in place with a bit of low tack masking tape. I'll just put a little bit of it on here, like so. That should hold it in place. Not. Okay. Well, we don't want it to slide. Just talk among yourselves for a minute while I work this out. Maybe we need to put it on a little bit more of the card, then it will hold more. Trouble is, you can always see it, but that'll do. It's going to be so busy you won't see it. Right. Then I need the frosted one. Then, now this is where you don't, strictly speaking, need the magnetic shim because it's a magnet. You need it because you need the thickness. So I'm going to use the magnet shim. It really is. And of course, it's going to really put pressure. And that will give us a really deep emboss. Our stencils, the Clarity stencils, are very, very thick mylar. And therefore, they give you a good emboss anyway. Right, so we'll hold that in place. Through it goes. It's really, really tight. And what it's doing is it's pushing the rubber mat, the rubber shim up through the gaps. That's the theory. Now let's have a look if it worked. And then we'll take this off, take that off, take the frosted one off. Oh, hello. Right. And then we'll remove the... Just a second. We'll just remove this. Told you it'd stick. But I tell you what, you get a fantastic emboss. Hold on, let me just peel this off. There you go. Perfect. Now this is the inside of the card. When I turn it over, there's the outside of the card. Look at that. So we've folded that down, and I'll put my black mat in place so you can see it better. Right, you got it? That's about right, see? And there you see the birds. There are the birds there. So now, how do we bring this out? Let's take a piece of copy paper. This is really easy. Enter our Clarity brushes. These are great. And I've got two different ink pads going on here. I've got Ocean Reef, which is an artistry ink, a dye-based ink, and then I've got the chalky ones, the Distress Oxides. I'm going to use some and some. So to start with, let's just see. If I take this brush now, and I've folded the card over, and you'll see, as I start to sweep, this is dry brushing now, I'm just using what was on the brush to start with. Okay, so you can see here exactly that you can bring what happens is the brush, by sweeping on the side like that, what you'll see is that you're bringing out the image. Here we go, look. And we'll just sweep like that. And you'll see there's the image. So the dye-based ink will give you that really good outer edge. See, look, straight away you can see how you've caught the outer edge. Now, how much you want to do is entirely up to you. This would make beautiful wedding invitations, wouldn't it? So, and as the brush catches the outside of the, look at this, as the brush catches the outside of the card as well, see how I'm giving the card an edge? I'm just sweeping in. I've got a bit of copy paper underneath, and I'll just sweep in like this, and you'll see how, it's very simple, very, very simple, but see how I've edged all the way round now? Right? So that's just using bog standard, and I haven't even inked up the brush yet, have I? That's just dry brushing. If I want to add a bit more ink, I need to go a bit careful. So I'll just add a little bit of the Ocean Reef or any other blue that you fancy. Now, you go in like that, you'll spoil it. So because you don't want to put too much on the recesses, do you? See, so you get rid of loads as well. Let me just show you this. Get rid of loads. That'll make a nice background piece. You know, you could run that through the dye machine as well. Now, what you're going to do is go lightly to start with, and you'll see now you've got a bit more ink, you see. So if you wanted to do a drop shadow, then you just keep going in the same direction. So now, let's say the light's up here, let's just pretend, and I'm just going to go sweeping in the same direction all the time, and you'll see that will, it's good. See how it just causes a shadow? Right, so you just keep going in the same direction, and that will give you a shadow in that particular place. Everyone's an original. Right, so once you've done that, you keep going, much as you like. You can get a bit more in the blue area there. Can you use the tumbled glass, the Distress Oxide, to do the same thing? Of course you can. I'm going to use a different brush though. This is the dye base. This is a chalk. I don't really want to contaminate the chalky one with this one. But let me just show you. So this is a lighter colour, but what you'll find is it will tone down. It's like almost like putting talcum powder over the top. So when I start to add this one, it changes the texture of the card as well because it's chalky, see? So this is quite good. So we can use both, but I want to show you, there you go. This is going to be good. Right, but how lovely is that? This is from a stencil, isn't it? See, and the other thing about the stencils is, of course, they're reversible. So if I wanted to turn it round and put the birds down there, I could do that too. It's entirely up to me. Now, once I've done that, on my card here, you can see I've got a little sign, or a little word there, beauty. So I've just rough cut out a piece of the same kind of card from scrap. And then let's say I'm going to use the Distress Oxide for stamping. I don't want it, let's check it out because maybe this is a new ink pad. I might want to blot it first before I ink blot. So I'll go blot. Let's see if I plot it. See, it's more faded, isn't it? I think I'm going to go, because it's quite dark, my one. I think I'm going to go with first generation ink, on this particular one. So I'll just pop that. This is Beauty is from our word chains. Really nice uplifting words. That's nice. There you go. So that will sit on there like so. Let's check the difference. The only difference is here that on this one, I've got a bit grungy around the outside. And the way to do this, there's lots of different ways. I showed you how to get a really smooth edge by just brushing in. This is a really clean edge, you see? See that? If I wanted to grunge up that edge, then what I would probably do is open up the card so the back is clean. And then I would take let me just show you this. It might go wrong now, but I just, it's the theory of it, right? I take this, what's this called? Oh, it's at a moment. Distress Oxide Tumble Glass. Very nice from Ranger, right? And then what we'll do is I'll just take that bit off there. I don't want it to be that grungy. Right. So to get a bit of a messy edge, I'm just going to smear see, I'm actually smearing the edge into the ink pad, and I'm puddling. Have I got the right? Whose glasses have I got on now? I can't see a thing. Just stay there a minute. I've got a better pair of glasses than this. I think these will be better. There we are. I knew what I had, I just couldn't see it. Is it happening to you as well, or is it just me? Right, so if you look here, you can see I've actually puddled a little bit of the ink along there. And if I take my hand now, my finger, and I just smear, you see, look before and after, it's actually puddled to the point where I can smear the work. When I get to the end, I'd suggest you go the other way. But you see how you can change the edge to a real tatty frame. It looks really nice. So that's it. You open the card, just to recap, you drag, you puddle the ink along the edge, and then you take your finger and you run it along there. And you can do the same. If you have a look at what I've done here, you'll see I've done exactly the same around the actual little word. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you with this great frameless stencil idea. So let's put that one over there. Then I want to take, so just remember, rubber shim underneath and you're coming in from behind. Now I've done that, and we've used our Clarity brushes, which are super, really good. Nice sort of clean art. We've introduced Distress Oxide to grunge it up a little bit. We've used the word chains, which are great. So let's do that. Now, instead of that, let's now have a look at this. This time, I've used the whole, by comparison, now I've used the whole stencil, but I've used it like a stamp. So let me show you how I've done that. And to do that, what I'm going to need now, I'm going to get rid of the brushes. We're not using the brushes, we're using these. See, the brushes, that's for coverage. These are for coverage, these little blending tools, but they are for actually spot painting also, right? So we're going to use those, that's what I use them for. And we'll use a few more of the Distress Oxides. They're really nice. We've got quite a good range of them. I like them a lot. I like them when you spritz them with water, which is what we're going to try now. So I've got a little selection. I don't know if I'm going to use them all. Salty Ocean, Peacock Feathers, Picked Raspberry, Mustard Seed, Worn Lipstick and Broken China. Bone China. So I've got a nice collection there. I think you can see that okay. And then what we'll use is, let's have a look. Let's see if this works. I've got several. It's playtime. I'll use a piece of stencil card, Clarity stencil card, to do the job. But first of all, we need to get some ink on the actual stencil. So if I take my stencil now, there you go. I'll take my stencil and I'll take my blending tools, and then where I can blend the colours on the actual stencil. So let me just take the lids off so I not keep fiddling with all the lids. Can you see this all right? Yeah? So I've got all the different colours going here. Right, that'll do. I haven't got a pink one. I might have to change it. That's okay. That's okay if I decide to use pink. So what you're thinking is, as you're doing this, you're thinking, if I put this one in the blue, I'm going to use the salty ocean to start with, right? So I can start adding colour now to the actual stencil, right? And as I come through here, now if I put a bit of blue through there, if I add yellow over the top of it, then clearly that's going to go green, isn't it? So that's where I can blend the colours as I'm going. If I go slowly, let me just show you something. If I go slowly, it gets darker as well. And if I wait until it's dry and then go again, I actually start lifting some off. But you can see here, you can get different levels, different depths of colour too. See? I mean, if I was really going for it, I could strategically make a picture in the background, but that's more than I can hack today. Right, so now that's the blue one. Let's take, I know that this one is going to have, it's yellow and green because I've already mushed it up. So now let's add a bit of yellow around here, and you'll see where I add the yellow, you get a bit of green going as well. Look, and I can smear the stencil if I want to make that a bit yellower. That would be nice. Right, a bit of yellow up there as well. What colour shall I make those birds? Right, yellow is going to be the lighter colour. Right, so there you go. So I'm just going to keep adding colour. What else we got? Broken china. I think I'm going to go with, should we try a bit of pink? Right, this is where I wish I had another one with me. It's all right, I'm on it. There you go. We'll do a bit of picked raspberry. Let's keep it bright. Right, so then we'll come in here and we'll add some picked raspberry. I want a pink bird. There we go. So lovely spring colours. What a nice birthday card or Easter or anniversary this would make. And you know what we did earlier, where I just did a kind of a partial part, like part of the stencil like that? You do exactly the same. You don't have to use the whole thing. I just want to show you the technique here, the trick. So let's just add a bit down here. Now I wish I hadn't cut off the little, little tangs I was. Yeah, see, method in our madness. That's all right though. There you go. It's only ink, comes off. But we've got some nice colours on there now, I think, haven't we? Yes, we have, Barbara. That'll do. Bit of orange, bit of yellow, bit of pink, bit of green. Rocking. So what the whole idea was, that's nice. If you really like arty and you're wearing, and you squint a lot, that's quite appealing. But this is what I'm after here. So let me just turn this over, right? And then I'll get my ducks in a row first. So I don't need these now. Let's put the lids back on. Right. So now we've done all that. We've loaded our quasi-hour stencil, which I'm going to turn into a stamp, aren't I? And what I want to do now is take a bit of the stencil card. Again, I need a bit of pressure to do this. So now it's up to me. If I want to emboss, like before, where we get that real deboss, it's all about the pressure. I can use the magnetic shim or not. I think on this occasion, I'm not going to use the magnetic shim. I just want enough pressure to transfer the ink, don't I? So there's no rush. There's no rush at all. I could leave this for hours, days, years, right? That's not the point. The point here is which way we want to go with this. If we want to deboss it like we did the last time, we need the rubber shim, yeah? If we want it to be flat, we don't. So what do I want to do? I'm going to use, I could use a rubber shim. I'm not sure. I'm just going to, I think, do you know what? I just want to get the colour down. Let's forget that one for now. And let's just do a transfer. So if I do that, that's to stop all the dribbles. Then I'm going to do this one. Then I'm going to spritz this one. Actually, I've got a better idea. It's all right. It's been a long day. I'm going to do that one like that. Yes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to spritz that with a bit of water. No, yeah, well, yeah. Spritz that with a bit of water. Then, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Oh, Barbara. Spritz that with a bit of water. Put it on there. Put the card on it. put it through. Piece of cake. Systems. Don't want too much water. Hold it away from your electric as well. Right, it's just, don't want to, just want to rejuvenate. Just want to release the, oh, loads that was. There you go. The thing about this as well, way too much actually, because we've got loads of ink on our stencil come stamp, right? We've also, there's plenty to do too. You can do like a first generation and then a second generation. So I've done that. And now I need the card. Ready? So I put the card on there as well, like so. Doesn't have to be in the middle. I could do it like that or like that, whatever. Just get on with it, Grey. Let's just put that down like that. Right, this will work. Honestly, I'm feeling very optimistic. I'll put that there so it doesn't slide around, shall I? Like that. I reckon, do you think we need a little bit more? We might need a couple of sheets of copy paper, just because there may not be enough pressure. Give it a go, shall we? Right, so we would do that, and we won't worry about the rubber one, because I've got a feeling that might be a little bit too much. But then it might not be enough, because now we haven't got a rubber one, we haven't got a magnetic one, we've got nothing. Let's see if it worked. If it didn't, we can always do it again. So the only pressure I'm using here is the machine and a bit of copy paper. Shall we see? Well, we'll learn. We'll learn what not to do if it didn't work. It's all a journey, isn't it? Let's have a look. I'll have a look, and then maybe we'll go back to the start. I say. I do like it when it works. Let me take that off there. Let's have a look. Isn't that nice? There you go. Nobody's more chuffed than I am. Right, I'll take that off there. Yeah. So isn't that pretty? Right. And it's not embossed, you see? So just to recap, the only thing I used, I didn't use the magnet shim. I didn't use, if I wanted to use the rubber shim, then I could have embossed it, debossed it like we did before. But you know what? And if I feel inclined, I won't show you again because I've done it once now. You guys don't while you're ahead in this game, yeah? But you can see here, when you run it through a second time, you get a really nice, there you go. And on the second game, you get a really nice sort of ghost print, don't you? Isn't that lovely? So that one, I probably used the rubber shim on it because it's a little bit more embossed. But so there we are. I wanted to show you first generation, second generation, when you just load the stencil with the ink. You could use the distress oxides are lovely. You could use the artistry inks, exactly the same, not a problem. So that's it, my friends. Frameless stencils, more in the pipeline for sure. Lots of flexibility, lots of versatility. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you do like what I do, then please like and subscribe. If you fancy having a look at our stencils, we have a very comprehensive range: stencils, stamps, dies. In fact, this image, I think we've brought this particular flower heart out in a die, in stamp, and in stencil, and even in Groovi. So it's in all of our 4 core products, so there's something for everyone. Pop over to the website, www.claritystamp.com, and I blog every day. There's a wonderful group on Facebook called Clarity Worldwide, loads of inspiration and ideas, a really buzzing community of budding artists, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Bye-bye now.